Hello, my darling choir chickens. This is Mrs. G. I want to give you a little video to help aid you in your ear training assignment. Some of you expressed frustration in not being able to score how you'd like to, and I want to give you a little bit of guidance, maybe some strategies, and help you think through the problems. I also wanted to just say a couple words about ear training itself. Ear training is a unique skill. We do some of it in class where I'll ask you to sing a pitch and then I'll ask you to talk or distract you with other sounds and then ask you to recall the pitch. And you're quite good at that, actually. But this is a different way of expressing your skills as musical listeners. Here, you're being asked to take in the information just by hearing and then translate that into a visual representation of it. And that's not always easy for people to do. And you should know that it truly is a lifelong skill. And it's something that I don't do perfectly at when I go through these exercises. I get a little rusty if I've not really practiced my ear training a lot. So just know that you're probably all in the same boat to some degree, unless you are just an ear training guru who practices it quite a lot, or if you have perfect pitch or really exceptional recall. In other words, you're really able to recall those pitches quite easily. So, coming over here to ear training, remember I wanted you to complete 100% of the lessons because inside the lessons, there are practice opportunities for you that prepare you for the skills section. Now, here it shows the amount completed. Here it shows your percentage accuracy. And what I've discovered in going through this is that if you go up to the blue bar here and you're looking at your percentages in these two subcategories, melodic contour and conjunct disjunct, I went through and I specifically mismarked a bunch of them to see what my percentage was. And then I went back through and tried to do them all correctly. And what you should know about the percentages is that the percentage you see is not simply a replacement of your old score, it's an average. So let's say you maybe got 30% of them correct when you went through it once, and then you went back through and you got 100% of it correct. Your percentage of accuracy at that point would be 65 because it's an average of what you've done. So if you're really going for that 75%, you might find yourself having to do it, more than twice, which is okay because it's really good practice. So let me give you a few strategies that might work for you and kind of explain at least my thought process behind the things that I choose in the skills section. So I'm going to go to train skills underneath the ear training section. Before I hit start, one thing that I sometimes do is I will hum the pitches if I feel like I can, because it helps ingrain that into my memory a little bit before I try to make a choice. Sometimes I don't hum it because it might be beyond my range or the pattern might be kind of wild and I may not feel confident that I'm going to hum it correctly. But what I pay particular attention to is the movement between the first two notes, especially if it's ascending, meaning going up, or descending, going down, or if the last pitch is higher or lower than the first pitch. Those are some of the first things that I listen for. So let's try some together. Bum, 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 bum. Well, first I know that the movement is upward, and the movement is upward 2 times. But that fits the description of all of these, doesn't it? These all move up twice. Bum, 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 bum. But I have to pay attention to the first and the last pitch. Was the last pitch higher or lower than the first? Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. So in this case, the last pitch was lower than the first. That rules this one out because it shows the last pitch as being higher than the first. Same here and same here. But this one shows it being lower than the first pitch. Bum, 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 bum. bum, 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 bum. The first movement is down. Well, that fits all of these. Bum, bum, bum. Third pitch is definitely higher than the first. So that could work here. It could work here. Does not work here because this shows lower than the first. And this could work. So I can rule this one out. Bum, 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 bum. Now the last thing to figure out is the last pitch higher or lower than the first one? Bum, 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 bum. The last pitch is in fact higher than the first one. So I can rule out all of them except for this one. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. If you were me, which one of these would you choose? Did you guess correctly? So I kind of went through a process of elimination there just for visual's sake. But if you were listening for the descending motion to begin with, again, that would have applied to all of these. You would have wanted to pay particular attention to the third pitch to notice that it's higher than the first one. And then, of course, compare the first pitch to the last. Bum, 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 bum. And that definitely fits. Okay, let's go to the second part of the ear training skills. If I go to train skills, I can see that I have the three choices: identify the contour, which is what we were just working on, then drawing the contour. So I can uncheck those if I want to and just start practice on the draw the contour. Now again, before I start this, sometimes it's helpful to hum the pattern if you can. Sometimes, though, it's helpful to just be quiet and listen. Bum, 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 bum. Not very pretty singing, but so I got to start with a pitch and then I have to go up. And I have to make sure my third pitch is higher than my first one because that's the way it sounded. Bum, 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 bum. Then this one has to be higher than all of the pitches. Now, you don't have to go by a very particular amount, just so long as it matches the motion. The only thing you want to avoid, though, is putting it on exactly the same line if they're not exactly the same pitch. So I'm going to push that one higher. Bum, 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 bum. Starting higher. Bum, bum. Whoopsie, now I lost it. But I think this one was slightly higher than the last. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Da, da. I gotta push that one up. Da, that one's definitely higher than the third one. Da, 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 da. Is this last pitch higher than the first one? Yep. Was it higher than the second one, though? Da, 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 da. Yes, this is higher than the second pitch. Da, 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 da. Okay, so now let's address the third portion of this. So I'll go to train skills. The third part was to identify conjunct and disjunct motion. Now let's say I really did awesomely on the identifying the contour, and I don't want to redo that one because I'm happy with where my score is. You know, I did well on the draw the contour, so I can uncheck those and just practice this part of it if I want to. Conjunct and disjunct, let's remember what those mean. Conjunct means it's very stepwise, like it could be part of a scale. And disjunct means there's wide leaps, or at least leaps of more than a second, leaps of a third or more. So let's start practice on this. Again, it might help you to hum them, but sometimes just being quiet is helpful too, so you can try to hear it inside of your own head. That was only 2 notes, right? Ba-dum, ba-dum. And when I sing it, I can feel that they're really close together. So it doesn't feel or sound very leapy to me. Ba-dum, 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 do a deer. That's a third, so it's bigger than a step, so I'm gonna call it leapy. Ba-dum, ba-dum, happy birthday. That's a second, so it's stepwise. Ba-dum, 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 pum, pum, ba-dum, 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 pum, pum. Those 2 steps are very close together. They're a minor second. Ba-dum, ba-bum, ba-da-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum. That's a leap. It's a third. Ba-da, ba-dum. Again, by singing it and listening to it, I can feel that it's a bigger leap than just a step. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. It feels bigger than a step. Ba-bum. Rain, rain, go away. That's a minor third. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Bum, 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 bum. The Jaws theme is a minor second, so it's only a step. Ba-dum, ba-dum, happy birthday. That's a step. Ba-dum, ba-dum, Hernando's Hideaway. Ba-dum, 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 bum, bum. All right, so even if you don't necessarily know the thirds and all the things that I was kind of trying to reference in there, by singing it and listening to it, notice how it feels, right? Does it feel like you are having to move more to achieve singing the 2 pitches? If it does, chances are it's a leap. Plus, you all have pretty darn good ears, so it's good to get some practice with that. All right, so now if I go back up here, again, this will be an average of how I did. So if I missed a bunch in redoing it, then my average will go down. If I keep continuing to better my score, then my averages will continue to go up. Okay, my darlings, don't get frustrated. Don't allow yourself to get frustrated. This is a different kind of skill, like I said, and I think it's good for you. It's really, really, really good to learn how to listen and, try to internalize the pitch by hearing it inside your head or, actually singing it out if that helps you identify or feel the distances between the pitches. Okay, my loves, have fun.